Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Hello my lovely alerts and welcome back to the Narc Alert. In this video, we're going to take a dive into Ruby Franke, the mother from the 8 Passengers family vlogging channel. The YouTube channel 8 Passengers is home to Kevin and Ruby Franke from Springville, Utah. They're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Their whole family is heavily invested in vlogging, and Ruby's sisters, including Ellie and Jared, Bonnie Holine, Beau Griffiths and Julie Giroux, Chad and Jennifer Griffiths, and their daughter Sherry. Ruby and Kevin's channel vlogs about the daily highs and lows of a Christian family of 8. Kevin, the father, is an environmental engineering professor at Brigham Young University. They began their channel in January of 2015 and now have over 2 million subscribers. Like so many family vlog channels, 8 Passengers is not without its share of controversies. One of the first and biggest to come to light was the time that Ruby refused to give her 5-year-old daughter school lunch. In a blog at the time, Ruby said the teacher had told her that she was uncomfortable with Eve going hungry and would prefer that Ruby drop by the school with Eve's lunch. Ruby responded that Eve was responsible for making her own lunches, and so the natural outcome is that she's going to be hungry, and she truly hopes that nobody gives the small child food throughout the day.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. And it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Ruby truly believes that her children require no boundaries, and they seem to be simple props to make her look like the moral, upstanding mother that she proudly proclaims to be. She's filmed her little girls shaving their legs for the first time.
Lee has been asking all summer if she can shave her legs and armpits.
I think every girl has a story where they're in a rush, it will cut. So there's a lot of hair in there actually.
Mom, don't show that.
Her young teenager Chad shaving for the first time.
You have whiskers, look at you.
You can see a little bit of the fuzz, a little coloring. The reason we want Chad to shave is because we are getting family portraits done tomorrow, and I just didn't want a shadow.
Their youngest child, Eve, was literally born into the vlog, with one of their first videos being her gender reveal. She's now 6 and has never known a single day that hasn't been broadcast on YouTube. In October 2020, the Division of Child and Family Services in Utah showed up to the Franks' house, about 1 week after viewers set up a change.org petition. The workers visited with each of the children over the 2 hours that they were there. A letter from the DCFS, seen by Insider, said the case that alleged that Ruby was the perpetrator of abuse was closed because the claims were unsupportive. Their oldest son, Chad, has been the brunt of many of their harsher punishments. He was sent to a behavioral adjustment camp in the desert. When Chad returned from Anastasia, he had no bedroom, and after pulling a few pranks on his brother, they took away his bed for 7 months.
You guys saw that I took Abby's phone away.
I still don't know how she hasn't gotten that bag.
Have I ever given something back less than 6 months?
I've had my phone back for like a day.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
Sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, he was like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on. And I was like, we're not going to Disneyland. And he started crying.
That was not the reason you lost your room, but that was
Well, the other reason is because I pointed a BB gun at his face.
Pointed a BB gun at his face and hung him on the basketball. It's not funny.
Home too.
Chad came home from Anasazi and
Russell was like, I want to try junking the basketball, and I lifted him up on the
and he
rim.
was
and left him there for all 3 minutes, and he was just hanging on.
If you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
It was not fun. The bigger room in the basement was automatically his, and I didn't have a room.
But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room, and he just got the bedroom back. It hasn't had a flip phone, a smartphone, any kind of phone, and it's been over a year. And I still have no intention of returning a phone. And you may never get the phone back.
Probably not.
Well, like, I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally, like, told my friends I'm not hanging out with them anymore
Because they're
they say some pretty messed up stuff.
We really do want them to have these things, and it's been so difficult to take a phone away, to take a bedroom away, to take iPads away, to take access away. Like, I feel bad.
So then what do you mean you have no intention of giving us them back?
I have no intention of giving you a phone back.
Yeah, like, it doesn't seem you like feel bad about that.
Oh, I haven't given it much thought.
All of the children have lost their cell phones for various crimes, and Ruby has installed a public family cell phone that sits in the family room where the children are allowed absolutely no privacy and know that every single move they make is monitored by Ruby. In a rare moment of kindness, Ruby broke down and got Chad a new phone. A flip phone.
She was like 15 in a few months.
my age has one.
But I'm not everyone's parent. So help me out here. Am I the only mom in the world who gets their kids a flip?
How do you work this stupid phone? How do
The only downside to giving your kids a flip phone is I swear I have to remember how to work it every time I go through it.
Ruby's latest classic Karen moment involves her blowing up at the school over the choice of music that they were using in a flash mob performance for the kids. Let's take a look at Ruby's own footage and see if she displays any traits that might seem similar to traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder.
I am so upset. I am so angry. I could scream. So I went in and I had an appointment with the principal, and she had the assistant principal who never responded to me like he said he would. And then I guess there's 2 assistant principals, so there was 3 of us. She invited me in. We sat down and she said, oh, my head. I'm probably shaking all over the place with this video. Let's see if I can steady you. So she said, what can I help you with today? And I said, I have a concern.
I'm guessing the principal had backup with them because it may not have been Ruby's first visit to the school.
About the TikTok dances. And she said in the fall semester and in the spring semester, we need to have a performance. A flash mob is a great way to get it in. It's efficient. The kids love it. They have fun with it. And they are able to check off their performance for their grade. I said, my problem is the choice of songs. And she says, well, all the songs were approved by me. The teacher put together a list of songs and she gave them to me and I approved them. And I said, okay, so you approved this song.
A trait of NPD is an exaggerated or overly inflated sense of importance. The song was chosen by the teacher and approved by the principal, but it is not good enough.
That has all of these lyrics in it. And she says, well, we're not dancing to those lyrics. It's just a portion. And she says, I think it's really great because I actually really like it because Smiths used it in their commercial. It's part of pop culture. It's all over the place.
Love lower than low prices.
And I said, so your standard, what you allow in your school is pop culture? What the kids really like and what shows up in commercials, that's your standard? Yes, that's what if it's agreeable to the public at large, then it's okay in the school.
The school board has decided this is okay. People with traits of NPD will often strategically show off their superiority with an appearance of higher morality.
And I said, that's really disappointing. That is so disappointing because I would hope that the principal where my kids go to school, that the standard would be truth, that the standard would be principles, that the standard would be morality. And she says, well, what's moral for you isn't going to be moral for other parents.
The children were previously homeschooled. They begged her to put them in public school. The public school system has no mandate to teach LDS morality.
You're complaining about this song, but I've got 30 other parents that just think it's wonderful. And I said, it's what's moral according to God. I said, I think if you put those lyrics out and told each parent what that song is, I think 100% of parents would agree that that's immoral.
When backed in a corner in a fight, people who show traits of NPD will often bolster their claims by adding in how many people or people of importance agree with them.
And she goes, well, yes, I agree. It's immoral too, but I'm only using this section. I said, do you hear the compartmentalizing? Do you hear that you're taking this immoral song and you're saying, but I'm going to take this section? And I said, even the section that's there is still seductive.
Love lower than low prices.
And lustful. I said, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old may not realize it, but you and I as women know that that's seductive.
Her morality seems malleable. It is well known that predators watch family channels for child content, and 8 Passengers videos were full of shots of the kids and of timestamps placed by these people, until comments were disabled, not by the parents, but by YouTube, as content marked safe for kids no longer allows comments.
And I'm looking at the assistant principal, who's a man, and he's just got his head down like this. And I'm like, you know what? I can see you're not open to hearing my feedback. And she says, well, if Julie wants to get out of the class, I'm totally fine making adjustments. Whatever would make Julie feel comfortable, I'm open to doing. I will, if she doesn't want to participate, that's fine. And I said, you're missing the whole point of why I'm here. I am not here for anyone's comfort, including my daughter's. I'm not here to make her comfortable.
Narcissistic parents care more about their appearance to others than the children's feelings or comfort. Children are told they are a reflection of the parents and are always expected to make the parent look good.
Of course she can move classes, not because you said so, but because I said so. I'm the parent.
Yes, the parent, not the school administrator.
And I am here to invite you to see you, the principal, who are supposed to be bringing morality and supposed to be a standard, who have these precious children. You are not protecting them. You are not protecting them. You are introducing them to the world.
The Utah State Board of Education has 4 goals for the education system. Morality and protecting the children from life does not appear on the list.
And you're saying it's okay. You're saying that you support this. I didn't cry in there. I was very strong and sour, but now I am crying. And I said, in the end, you're not going to answer to those 30 parents who think this is a good idea. And you're not going to answer to me, who is telling you this is wrong.
There are 5 main reasons for a narcissistic temper tantrum, and they are similar to the reasons for a 2-year-old's tantrums: shattering their fantasy, revealing their insecurity, challenging their superiority, seeking attention, or embarrassing moments.
I said, you will answer for what you brought into this school and exposed these children to. And she says, yeah, I will, and I'm fine with it. I am 100% fine with what I've chosen. I'm like, that's sick. I said, that's sick. And I looked over at the assistant principal, who's a man, and he's got his head down like this. He won't make eye contact with me. And I look at the woman. She couldn't have been more than 25 years old. She was just young girl. This young adult. And her face was just full of pain. I felt like she heard what I was saying, but she wasn't in a position to. I don't think she'd ever seen anyone hold her principal accountable. I don't know if anyone's ever gone in and held that principal accountable.
She truly thinks no one could make eye contact with her because of her bravery and courage. No one had ever seen anything like this before.
She is evil. For her to have a parent come straight at her and tell her how evil this is.
It rings a little histrionic to call the principal evil for simply not complying with your wishes.
And she said, you could go in and of course not today. And she's talking with a smile on her face like this. Like, you could go in and listen to the class. Of course not today. Today wouldn't work. But you could come in. We could set it up for next week or after spring break. Why don't we do that? Would you like that? And I said, if I went into that classroom, I'd probably be fine with everything I see. The problem is you are not reading between the lines. Those girls are going home and they're looking up the rest of the lyrics to these songs you're hooking them into. They're dancing to the song. They've got it in their head and they want to know the rest of it, and they're looking it up. You're okay with them looking up the rest of the lyrics to this song? It's explicit. It's disgusting.
It's also on commercials, and it is an old song. Most kids do not live in a bubble like her poor children do. It's not exactly WAP.
And I said, you're okay with these girls going home, and the parents who aren't numb like you are, the parents who are awake, who aren't vying for popularity points with their kids, they're telling their kids, this is a nasty platform. And she goes, oh, I know, I agree. I don't like any social media. And I'm like, then why do you have it? Why not cut it out?
This is on its face ridiculous. It's better to expose kids to social media in a controlled manner, as it is a pervasive and important part of our lives. Also, she makes her living on social media.
You can. And she's like, well, everything has got nasty. And I said, that's not true. There is so much good in dance. There is so much good in music. You don't have to stoop to this pop culture level to entertain your children. You're not interested in teaching them. You're interested in entertaining them.
Well, let's dress them in sacks and teach them to waltz.
Anyway, I said, You're not seeing that these parents, the ones who are awake, who are telling their kids, you've got to stay away from these platforms, that you've given them ammo to say, well, my principal thinks it's great. My dance teacher thinks it's wonderful. You're superseding your authority to bring this in and to endorse this. And how compartmentalized are you? You're rationalizing. You yourself say you don't like TikTok, and yet you think it's wonderful to teach these kids. You personally know it's immoral, but it's okay for 12-year-old girls. This is disgusting. It's inexcusable. I stood up and I said, I can see we're going in circles. I can see that you're not open to hearing me.
They are shattering her fantasy. Narcissists also have a distorted perception of reality, where they are all-powerful, beautiful, knowing, authoritative, and right. Any shattering of that fantasy is met with immediate anger.
I can see that you don't care. And I can see that if I'm going to raise my children with people looking out for them, I will have to do it myself. I cannot count on their teachers. I cannot count on their principal to look out for my kids. Oh, this is so upsetting. I suspected that I would be minimized, but I had no idea how aggressive and mean and evil.
They gave her a meeting. They listened to her concerns. They addressed them and offered her solutions. She said they smiled at her and offered for her to come to the class. The problem is that they are evil because they didn't change everything to suit her.
And you guys, I don't live in like a real crazy city. I live in like a quaint conservative little city where people think they're safe. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to give you this update, and I'm telling you, if you're not watching out for for your kids, and if your kids are not talking to you, you're missing so much. You're missing it. And in the end, each of us will account to God for how we protected kids.
It's a pop song.
Big companies who say they love kids are not looking out for kids. Principals who say they're looking out for your kids, they're not looking out for your kids. Everyone is just concerned about popularity. They're more concerned about engaging children and catching their attention.
Or using them for clicks and views.
They're interested in money. They're interested in contracts. They're not interested in morality. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And then you get a mom who is awake, who's looking, and you put her in a room full of administration who they're all numb, and you're the one awake, and you're the one who's animated, you're the one who's talking, you're the one who's getting big. And so you, as the mom, start to think maybe you're crazy.
Well, Ruby, you said it, I didn't. Thank you once again for joining me on our look at Ruby Franke of the 8 Passengers Family Channel. Do you think she shows any traits that are similar to traits that are within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder? It's all just speculation. Don't forget to click the like button, and please hit subscribe if you liked more content like this. It's free, and it makes Rio really, really happy. Until we meet again, please have a great night, be kind, and hasta luego.